Hi, if you're new to this podcast, welcome. I'd like to welcome myself. I'm also new. Today, I have a wonderful and complex man, Fini Gersigny. He's a minister at Jubilee Church in Sydney. When I first came to him for some counselling, I was in this room that I'm sitting in right now, cried like a baby. And he has been kind, generous, and loving to me ever since. And so I have one question for him. He, like many men who've raised me all the way back from Jesus to my own father to Kanye when he was talking about how he was almost aborted and how him and Kim almost had an abortion, and my minister in Camden at the Presbyterian Church, all these men have one thing in common. They cry in public. Fini, why do you cry in public?
Teach us to cry until it does us good.
If you're new to this podcast, welcome. I'd like to welcome myself. I'm new too. This is the first podcast. This is the ERP podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Fini Gersigny, a man of a very human man, and that's why I like him. In this age of AI, Fini, I have a question for you. Why do you cry?
Well, that's quite a big question. I think I've always had a soft heart, and I think God gives us a soft heart unless we harden it. So if your heart's soft, then whether something touches you in a movie or something in nature or a story or a moment in worship, any of those things can just leave you tender, and tender leads to tears. And I've always associated those tears with the love of God, because I think when you feel loved, you're at your most vulnerable. And I think vulnerability often expresses itself through tears. So, cowboys don't cry because they are meant to be tough and not show their emotions. What I think Jesus and Christianity and ministry is the exact opposite of that. So we want to be as vulnerable and soft-hearted as we possibly can, because that way we are exposing ourselves to love, the most purest form of love. God's love is so pure that he doesn't need anything back from us. So he just gives it and we receive it like, wow. And so I treasure those moments when I do cry, whether I'm speaking or whether I'm singing a song, or whether I'm just standing in a service and someone else is doing something and it touches me, because it makes me feel like I'm in touch with my emotions and I'm also in touch with God. Now, not everyone, that's not for everyone, but you asked me the question, so that's my answer.
Did you say cobwebs don't cry?
No, cowboys.
Oh, cowboys.
Cowboys don't cry, yeah.
They're going to be tough. Cobwebs either.
No, they wouldn't
Both.
cry. No.
It's funny you say it's a response to the love of God, because one thing that's been surprising me lately is I realized it shows a lot about people, how they respond to love. And I understand why they would respond maybe aggressively or they would jump back from it if the end result would be they would be crying. Like they would be feeling vulnerable at the end of that. When I first met you, I came into this room actually and talked with you.
I remember.
I cried like a baby. I think I was angry. I was frustrated. I was feeling like there had been no place for me in churches that I'd been part of. And I don't think you said much, but it just to be able to cry and to was was really meaningful. Yeah.
Hey, have you ever noticed how you can't sleep when you're thinking about money, fame, and becoming like your favorite rock star? Don't bother changing your thoughts or anything. We have a pill that can sort your mind out. Put in The Evangelist for a 15% discount on Straight Up Sleep, the no-nonsense sleeping pills that your doctor has been sleeping on, because Straight Up Sleep isn't a part of Big Pharma. It's just a lowly startup. Go to straightupsleep.com today.
Hi, if you're new to this podcast, welcome. I'm new too. It's called the ERP podcast. We pack, trend, sane, shend, ho ho, two.
Keep that way. That's funny.
We pack and deliver. We pack, train, send, and deliver evangelists all over the world. And that is part of what I'm doing today. I wanted to, in this age of information where robots are warring with humans over who's the real authority, I wanted to retain some human element with one of the most human people I know. That's Fini Gersigny. It is my pleasure to introduce him to you. He is a complex man who journeyed across the seas to this country based on some prayers, some connections with God, some visions. He's continued to live his life on the basis of prayer, of visions, of listening to the church. He's a conservative man who reads the Bible regularly and has a simplicity of faith that is also complex. When I first came into this church for a little bit of counselling, I spoke to Fini. I cried like a baby. I ranted like a lunatic. And in that tempest, his love remained steadfast for me. And he wasn't shaken by all my storms in my life. So it's my pleasure to introduce him to you, and my aim is to share his goodness, the goodness that my relationship with him has brought in my life, and just to multiply the goodness. So here he is. Fini, tell me, why do you cry in church?
Well, it's a sign to me of a soft heart. And I think whether you're in ministry or not, whether you're a human and whether you're a Christian, we need to keep our heart soft. And I've always seen tears as an indication of a soft heart. And I always see my tears as kind of being an expression of my response to God's love. Because I notice when I cry, it's because of his presence. And his presence is his love, because God is love. And I think it's what every heart longs for, every heart needs. The world needs love. And because God is love, I really treasure those moments, whether it's even in a movie or in church or when I'm talking or in a song, where something unlocks that part of me that is deep. And it's my deep calling out to God's deep. And God's deep is love. So to me, it's like, it's a thing I love that I have. I didn't ask for it, I just got it. And I keep it. I try and keep myself soft and not become jaded or cynical.
Yeah. Unlocking it. Can you talk a bit more about that? I think of the cliche of letting go, but unlocking is also interesting for what it's doing. What is it? Unlocking.
I think it's unlocking who you really are. I think that people can only really unlock if they trust God. And if your view of God is distorted, or you have a view of God like God was really angry in the Old Testament, now he kind of became very nice through Jesus, whereas Jesus was always God. And there's ways to understand Old Testament violence that's not talked about much. But Jesus said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So Jesus actually is the perfect demonstration and picture of who God is and what God's like. And you can trust Jesus. And Jesus, if you think of that woman who had a notorious life, we can imagine what she was doing for a profession. Yeah. But she feels like she can come in and interrupt a meal, take perfume and weep on Jesus' feet. Yeah. And he doesn't say get away from me because I can't be sin, I'm very holy. No, he actually says this act is going to be spoken of everywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's my king.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm in good company. If I'm crying, she's crying, and Jesus is there, and that's the perfect cocktail.
Yeah, beauty for ashes.
So what was unlocked in her was her shame.
Yeah.
And every person's different. Every person's different. You don't know what's going to be unlocked if you open your heart to Jesus. Because we all have different needs and different backgrounds, different cultures, different upbringing, different expectations, different religious upbringing. Yeah. But to me, it all comes back to love, because God is love. And if you're feeling loved, you're going to thrive in life. If you're not feeling loved, you're going to struggle with love.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem true that if you actually believe that God loves you, your whole life will change.
100%.
Yeah.
Cry. Oh